Good morning. Right, today we're going to be looking at averages from tables. So, just before we get started into the example question, I want to talk about the word averages, just so you remember what that means. So that could be looking at mean, median, or mode. Mode being the one that's there the most, median being the one that's in the middle, the medium number, mean being the one where you're going to add and divide. Now, if we look at our example question here, it says the table shows the time that 60 students spent revising. Now, 60 is the total amount of pieces of data we got, but if we look at the table, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So, what that means is that each row is not the number of students. The 60 students are in the frequency column. If you add this column up, you would get 60. So 60 is how many there are. Okay? Then we need to talk a little bit more about what it means when it says the time bit. So each of these in the time column are actually showing a sort of range of time. So this bit here, 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 and here, these are called a class. So when it asks you to write down the modal class, we need to be looking very carefully. What we'll be writing down is one of these 4. Now, you heard me say that. I said modal. What that means is which one has the most. Most on this table would be this one, because there's 28 students. So I've got 28 students and then I just copy exactly what we've got there. So 28 students spent more than 10 minutes and less than 20 minutes revising. I'm hoping that none of you are in that box. Okay, so then we come down to B. Now, it says work out an estimate for the mean. Estimate, in this case, exists not because you're going to round afterwards, but because if we look back up at our table, our classes, our time that we know for mean, we'd add them all up and divide by how many there are. But the times that we've recorded aren't numbers. This is not a number. So what I need to do is find the halfway point. It's called the midpoint. So I need the midpoint of these numbers. So the midpoint of 10 and 20, 15, 25, 35 and 45. You can do that in one of 2 ways. I could either just write out all the numbers and then cross them off till I get to the middle, or I can add these 2 up and divide it by 2 because I'm looking for the halfway point. Then the mean, well, this here means there are 28 15s. So if I wanted to be really, really slow, I could write 15 plus 15 plus 15 and so on 28 times. However, the quicker way to do that is to do 15 times 28. Then I'm going to do the same for the next one, so 25 times 13, then 35 times 13. Again, there's nothing stopping you writing 35 out 13 times and then adding it all up, other than the fact that that's incredibly long and you're more likely to make mistakes. So then we've got 45 times 6. I am going to grab my calculator, work those out, and then we're going to look at adding them all up and dividing by how many there are. So with this, it's the same thing we've always been doing. So 15 times 28, let's get our answer of 420. 25 times 13, 3, 2, 5. If you have your calculator, you're more than welcome to play along at this point. 35 times 13 is 455. I just missed a button on my calculator there and I got 35 out as the answer. make sure you're being really careful on your calculator on this. There's a lot of button pressing and it's very easy to make a mistake. Right, we've written down, counted all of the 15s. So this is me counting all of the 15s. Now I need to add all of these up to get my total. So add 455, add 325, add 420. So that gets me 1470. This is normally on a calculator paper. It has been on non-calculator, but most of the time it's on calculator. Then, once I've done that, I then need to do 1470. So add them all up. Remember, mean add them all up, divide by how many there are. I need to divide by how many there are, which we know is the total frequency, so those 60 students. So I'll work that out, divide by 60. My calculator says 49/2. I want the decimal, so 24.5. I'm then just going to look at my table. Is that in roughly the right place? So the mode, put it in here, but there are other students here, so 24.5, we'll put it somewhere here, so that seems about right. Pause the video here and have a go at your match question. Okay, having a go at the match question then, we're just going to get, firstly, our modal class. Remember, that's the one that's there the most. So the highest frequency is 21. So you're going to have 35, T, 41. You have to write exactly what's here. So if you've written 35 to 41 and you haven't got the T in the middle, you will not get the mark. It must match exactly what you see in the box. So then an estimate for the mean. Again, for the estimate, I'm just going to go down and get the middle point. So 16, the halfway point here, well, that would be 19. I'm going to write this 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, cross, 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 cross. So it's 23 here. Halfway between those two will be 30. And halfway, so 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Again, just crossing one off from each side. So that'll be 38. So then I am going to do my multiplication in the table this time, just because I've got space to do it. So work my way down my multiplication. As we're doing this, please make sure you're marking each step. Make sure that you know that you've got each step right. If you're not sure, ask your form tutor to rewind the video. Or check with someone else. And then we need to add all of those up. So that will get me 1555. So 1555 divided by how many there are. Now this question tells me that there are 50 students in total, so that's the total of this column. If it doesn't tell you that, you're going to need to add all of that column up. In the check question, you haven't got the total, so you need to add the frequency column up. So when we do this, 1555 divided by 50 is 31.1. Again, I check it's within these numbers, puts it there, that's fine. So that's my final answer. Pause the video, have a go at the check and the challenge, and then when you're ready, play it. Okay, the check. So the check, as I said, doesn't have the total, so I need to add the total up. So it wants to estimate the mean height. Again, estimate is my clue to do this and get that middle number. They are normally relatively easy like this, where you're just going halfway between. Careful here, because this is a bit of a trick. This isn't the same width. This is going to be 190. Then I'm going to multiply going down my table. So 145 times 7. 1550, 165 times 15, 2475, 175 times 19, 3325, and 190 times 9, 1710. Then I'm going to add all of that up. 3325, add 2475, add 1550, add 1015. I get 10075. So for A, it'll be 10075 divided by the total, which will be the total of these. So 7, add 10, add 15, add 19, add 9. So we'll be dividing by 60. Which gives me, again, a really nasty decimal. What I do is I write down everything that is on my calculator, and then it says 1 decimal place. So 167 point, this is the one I want to keep. That's less than 5, so I keep it there and stay there. For part B, why is it an estimate? It is an estimate because I do not have the exact heights. That's it, because we've had to estimate these numbers, so I don't have the heights. Right, looking at the challenge. So part C for the challenge is exactly the same as what we've already done. I'm not going to do that on the video, I'll just give you the answer. Part A is a little bit more complicated. So the percentage of people that travelled for more than 30. So looking in the table, here's 30. So more than 30 will be all these people. So that will be 29, add 12, add 6 people. So 29, add 12, add 6. So that's 47 people. It's 47 people out of the 100 people, tells me up here. So that will be 47% for A. For B, the median, that's the one in the middle. So there's 100 people, so the middle will be halfway, so it will be the 50th person. So I'm just going to count, this is 14. So I've got 14. It's called cumulative, but I'm going to write so far because I'm just counting. So 14, 30, 53. So the 50th one must be in this interval. 20, T, 30. Again, you need to write exactly what it has there. I'm going to give you the answer for C now. There is your answer for part C, 27.7. All of the workings are there so you can check your work. Hopefully you're now able to get on with the practice questions.